Hey guys, what's going on? TriggerhappyJon coming at you with another Nier Reincarnation video, guys. So today's video, I thought we'd change it up a little bit. I got some music playing in the background. My good buddy Bear Cozy Music, he does a lot of copyright-free music. Definitely go give him a follow and subscribe to his YouTube channel as well. If you enjoy kind of mellow music like this, that's gonna be playing throughout the song or throughout the video here. If you're a streamer, content creator yourself, it's all DMCA-free music and always will be. Definitely want to go check him out. He's got a Patreon. Go give him some love and support. But anyways, now back to my video. So today's video, guys, is going to be all about show me your crits. I'm sure you saw the thumbnail and you're like, haha, maybe that's funny to you, maybe it's not. But in all seriousness, it's a real topic. Now, I've had people in my Twitch chat come up to me and like, hey, I think, you know, getting 60 to 80% crit rate is as high as I want to go, and that's what we're going to call good. And, you know, in theory, it's not a bad call. And the reason why I say that is because you get so many attacks, right? So you get a lot of auto attacks, and then you get a lot of ability attacks. So, for example, we're going to, everybody knows that A2 she's a pretty good powerhouse. Well, if you go into her kit here, you can see that her ultimate ability is going to do it's going to be a 4-hitter. Right? And it's gonna do a lot of damage, okay? Well, and then the weapon I have equipped to her also is gonna be more than one hitter, right? So she's got another four times, as well as her Phoenix Fleetfoot, which is a 3 times hitter. Well, so if you're shooting for a 60 to 80%, that gives you 3 to 4 hits to land a crit. So the topic of today's video, and the reason why I'm gonna be covering this is because subjugation's coming, and Element's gonna play a big role into this. One, like what affinity are you using? Like, is it a water subjugation battle? So should you be using wind? Abyss Tower is coming, right? We know we're gonna use wind weapons. So how much more damage are you gonna do using the correct weapon with crit versus not crit, or vice versa, and the whole kit and caboodle. Now you'll notice here the loadout I have currently comprised. Let me move my head out of the way so you can kind of see it a little bit better. I have a 100% crit rate on my A2, so every one of her hits will crit. 97% on 2P, so she'll mostly crit, and 81% on Gale. I am slacking in the crit department. I was trying really hard to get them all to 100. I usually run my own characters, truth be told, usually around 80 to 90% on the crit, and I usually don't go above that because of this companion here, but really, in all seriousness, I should be running them at 100% crit rate, so that way I don't have to worry about this companion. And instead of having this companion come in for his crit rate passive here, I could be doing or not passive, sorry, ability. It's not the passive. The passive is this all allies fire damage, okay? Just to be clear. But then I could be multiplying the damage done with my light by picking a different light support champion that would improve my light damage. And I'm not going to get that because, well, I'm using this one because it could give us more crit rate. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you an example of what your damage looks like when you crit, what your damage looks like when you don't crit, and you get strong and weak hits, okay? So I'm just gonna jump right into it because I don't want this video to be super long because I want to go back and I want to touch on the math. So first thing we're gonna do is you saw that loadout, almost all 100, like almost 100% crit rate, not exact, so don't take my word as a T, but you're gonna notice, and I want you to really pay close attention to how much damage am I doing in this video during this run, right? So if you kind of saw the numbers there, I had, you know, close to 100% crit rate, but the highest crit damage I had was like 180, 190%. And honestly, even my 2P, who's gonna crit every time, is only gonna have 150. So you'll notice here, so she's gonna crit for 93K. All of her crits there, so that was well over with, and these are just regular attacks, right? So this is gonna come into play for your regular attacks. And that's kind of why I wanted to showcase it, is because just notice the amount of damage they're doing with all these critical hits. So notice that, you know, somewhere between 50 to 100K is what we're really hitting here, and Okay, guys, so really pay attention here. We're going to be showcasing the crit rate a little bit more here. So notice here that we're hitting about 28 to 95k damage on the there's the crit hits here. Same deal. Now granted, these are really low weak numbers. Now as you saw, it built up. That's because it was a chain attack, right? But each one of those attacks substantially grew during that fight. Now you'll see here as same deal, A2 is going to be basically 100% crit each time because she has 100% crit rate. She only has 150 crit damage. Now as we saw here with Gale, she did fairly decent damage, about 40k damage there. But notice that she was all critting, so everything she was doing was critting. So if I were to upgrade my weapons and get more attack and crit damage, the damage would scale that much more. Actually, if I took out more attack, it would scale higher with crit damage because you have to have a really high base attack to scale your crit rate with crit damage. Going super high crit damage without any attack won't do you any good. So those are the numbers there. I hope you guys kind of got an idea of it. So baseline here, we saw between 80 or between 45k and we'll say 120k damage on crit attacks. Now, let's go around the same thing, but we're gonna use my wind loadout because I've tweaked my wind loadout specifically for this video because it's not gonna have the crit rate on it. And we'll show that here in just a second. So notice my wind loadout, still great force. And honestly, if you were building this team and you're just clicking along here, picking for the best stats, you wouldn't even notice the difference. So yeah, notice that the crit rate is only at 66%. The crit damage is still, right around the 150-ish mark. Scroll over here, 2P's got 217 crit damage, but half the crit rate. And Gale has 24% crit rate. Now, this looks like a good loadout because if you look at the force, it looks great, right? You just slap your weapons in, your party memoir is good, and you're like, oh, I got crit damage there, we're good, like we could work this, it's gonna be viable. And it's a win. Well, let's go show you what the difference is. Now, pay close attention here, because it's gonna tell you what the attack number is for the weak hit or strong hit, because these are all wind weapons, and that's the biggest thing to take note of. Alright, so first attack there is 29k, 874k, and that's the weak hits, right? Now those are just straight up, so you notice it'll tell you weak and it'll tell you critical. So notice the amount of damage done just by having the correct strong affinity. Now granted, those were some critical hits with weak, but they weren't like, they weren't that much better than the other abilities. And keep in mind, not a whole lot of these have crit so far. See, like the weak hits there is hitting about the same as if they had crit. So we were seeing between 45 to 120k on crit attacks, right? Well, we didn't get that many crit attacks on this boss, but I don't know if you noticed, but the numbers were still right around that 60% mark, but they are all weak hits. That means that's the affinity dominant, right? So I think that gives you 1.2% more damage. Well, that's effectively how much more damage you would have if you were to do the same thing but crit. So now we're gonna do one more battle, guys, and we're gonna kind of go into the actual crit damage. So I'm gonna build the same team, and actually all I'm gonna do here is I'll even do it live. That way it's I didn't fudge anything. We'll keep it all recorded here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to this testing loadout here, and all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch these weapons. So I'm gonna switch these weapons, and I'm gonna throw in the wind counterparts. So yeah, so this one's gonna turn into this one here. Swap weapons. That's already a wind weapon. This one here, this will be a little different. We're just gonna equip a wind weapon here, which is gonna be, I got a few too many options, to be honest. Let's see, what do we wanna do here? You know what, let's just grab this guy here. Take that off 2P, and we'll go over to 2P here. Okay, just replace that with that. That's good to go. Crit rate's 97, 100%. crit rate 81%. Now this is still a little low, but all of them have the wind weapons. So now let's go to the same exact battle and see how much more damage you do with the crit rates and the weak hits going in tandem. Now notice crit rate testing, that was between baseline of 40 to 80k, or 40 to 120k. No crits, but getting the correct affinity matchup. That still put us in like the 40 to, I would say 40 to 80k range is about what it gave us. The only difference is the chain multiplier didn't go as high because we were critting, right? So now let's see here. We're going, okay, so we're 40k up to 110k there. Easily 167k there. Like that, none of her attacks were under 100k. 2P is gonna be 100% crit rate. And she just killed it all the way up to 126 with no problem, up to 152, no problem. 65k has been the lowest baseline really so far, I would say, on an average. That's what I'm trying to do, is just taking the average, guys. Now this is gonna be, okay, and she's gonna scale up and up. Yeah, so right there you saw like it just scales up so much higher because it's critting for one with the multiplier for getting the more and more progressive hits. So I would say that pretty much explains a little bit as far as like the crit rate goes and why it's going to be more important. I could really go down into a deep dive and kind of do the math to kind of show you a little bit about how crit rates usually calculated in other games. I haven't reverse engineered it in this game to know well enough to know if it's the exact same. But the testing and the very little testing I have done has pretty much proved so far that it is about the same. So we just want to touch base here and kind of show you guys what common mistakes people are going to be making that you may want to avoid, because especially when it comes to arena, right? Now, I'm going to do other videos that are going to be coming up very, very soon that are just talking about arena, but as you can see here, this is my arena defense team. I don't have 100% crit rate. I don't have that much, honestly, of everything, but my power looks really good, and that's what I'm using as a deterrent. I'm looking as the don't attack me. But if I were to just be savvy, right, and come over here and have like this testing, which is my crit rate loadout test done, and just bring that in there with the crit rate, all my normal attacks, because that's all it's got to proc in an arena, is going to just smack down the enemy because I'm going to always crit and do so much damage. Now, I've got a lot of memoirs still to get. I got a lot of things to upgrade. But I really hope this you can take this for like what it is and step back for a second and go, okay, well, when subjugation launches, I really do need to focus on getting like close to 100% crit rate and make the matchup affinity work for you. Same thing with this Abyss Tower. This is going to be a great test of your skill and your endurance. Do you have the wind weapons to tackle this Abyss Tower, or do you not? This is going to really tell you. And I really feel like the crit rate breakdown is going to be super, super important for both the Abyss Tower and subjugation. I don't know that you're really going to be able to crank out the DPS unless you're critting. And you were more than welcome to risk it for the biscuit. I would say, hit that 80-90% crit rate target at least, if not that 100%. And I think you'll be in good shape. And basically all this content. So that's going to do it for today's video. I hope that helped you a little bit, just doing a couple breakdowns of some different variations and different crit rate testing. I wish at the end of the round they really broke down and gave you all the damage. It'd be super easier to do better guides on this and give you more content on it, but unfortunately they don't do that in Nier. I really wish the devs watch my videos and take that into consideration, because I would love to have a damage breakdown at the end. That way I can do more informative videos like this and be more accurate. So hope this helped you guys. And yeah, I'm gonna call it good for today. I will be live tomorrow, or well, depending on when you're watching this. I'll be live Thursday, 8 p.m. EST on Twitch, twitch.tv/TriggerhappyJon. Come hang out with me. Come have some fun, ask some questions. I love it when you guys come in and interact with me. Also, thanks again to Bear Cozy Music for letting me play all this copyright-free music in my channel. I greatly appreciate it. We're gonna probably start incorporating this a little bit more. I hope you guys are enjoying it. And yeah, guys, that's gonna do it, and I'll see you later. Peace.